Hi, it's Dave from Driving Venture. Welcome back to the channel. If you haven't done so already, please think about subscribing and getting the notification bell on. Today I'm reviewing the 992 Carrera. Welcome inside the cabin of this 992 Carrera. This is the base Carrera. Launched the new 992 as it was back in California a few short years ago. And this car for me represents everything that Porsche is. It's a car which is just through every iteration got better and better and better. This car feels much more techy and much more, how do I put it? It feels more advanced. It feels like you're going into the next iPhone, the next iPhone, and the next iPhone after that. The gadgets, the cabin, it's all been stepped up quite a number of notches for me over the 991.2 911. Now, you might think going for a base spec Carrera, maybe it's a poor relation. The thing about the 992 is, and I think it comes and has something to do with all the wizards who work out the money for Volkswagen Group, is that it now just comes with one chassis, unless you go for the turbo and obviously the GT3 RS, which are probably going to have slightly wider chassis. Formerly in 911, the Carrera, standard Carrera, had a narrower chassis. You had to go for the 4S or the GTS or the GT3 to get the wider track. So this car runs the same width as the S and I guess what's coming very shortly, the GTS. It's nice to drive a 911 that hasn't got all that emotion going on behind you, with an engine which is quiet but powerful, and obviously with the twin turbochargers delivers lots of torque from low down. It's a very accomplished car. This car is spec'd just over £99,000. The base spec on this car is just a shade under £69,000. So it's had options to take you up towards the £100,000 bracket. So at 385 horsepower, the car has, for me, more than enough performance to satisfy the motorist. And with 400 Newton meters of torque, you know, it gives you that shove, it presses you on as you accelerate. When I first saw the new 992, I was a little bit unsure about the drinks holder in the middle of the centre console, but that's okay, that looks good. I think it's grown on me a little bit, it can be taken out as well, and you've got another drinks holder over to the left, so a little bit different. There's just changes to the cabin over and above the 991. The whole feel of the cabin, the door handles, the switch gear, it's all been stepped up. These buttons on the front dash here for wet mode, for sport, hazard warning, traction control, sport suspension, they all feel premium, they all feel good. Even the stalks on the steering column have all been changed, as has the steering wheel. The thing about 992, even though it's the latest generation car, it's very Porsche-esque, it's very what Porsche enthusiasts would have expected to see. It's got the legendary shape, it's got the legendary form, it's got what purists want, I think, when it comes to a 911 car. The big thing for me over the 991, because I had a 991.2 Carrera 4S, that was one of my early Porsche cars, and the 4S car, I always felt it was a bit soft, so I tended to drive it with a sport suspension on. Where this car's concerned, from the moment you kind of get in it and get moving and cover your first few miles, the chassis and the ride quality has stepped on. It's stepped up. I think it's better, the wider track over the standard car. I think all these little things have added up to make the car feel, I think, better than the Carrera 4S that I had, from what I remember of it, and I did do 8,000 miles just short of in that car. The steering is just bang on, it's quick. This car doesn't have rear axle steer, which you do notice, you know, in the RS it does change direction extremely quickly. But with this car, I think the steering, electric power assist steering, yeah, it's super. I'm not driving it particularly quickly at the moment, but it's a car, again, you can just cruise in. You can just take the day in, and you know you're in a 911, you know you're going to love the car. You just enjoy it. So yes, we're bringing things right up to date on the channel today as we go through this fabulous Carrera 992. This is the base model. This comes in fully specified, this car just under £100,000. Now, as you might have noticed from our surroundings here, it's a bit chilly. So this Carrera has been fitted with the Porsche approved winter wheel and tyre set. So this is running 19-inch front and 20-inch rear wheels. Normally this would be on a 20 and a 21 fitment, but with the winter wheel and tyre set, they've gone slightly smaller. I actually think the silver wheels really tie in well with the most classic of colours, GT silver. The wing mirrors are new on the 992 over the 991. I actually like this design, nice bit of black detailing on the under part of the mirror, and obviously these flash when indicators come on. The front of the car, when I first saw the 992, I was a little bit in two minds as to why the bonnet kind of went down lower and cut into the front bumper than where this piece ends, but when you look at it, and the more you look at it, you think that kind of suits it. And this car takes you back to the classic, and I think most beautiful 911 ever made, the 993, with that lovely scoop in the front bonnet. At the front end, you've got the vents, and you've got your indicator lamps, your daytime running lights. This car is fitted with the PDLS with black surrounds, so these LED lamps, perfect to be on in the dark. The handles on the car, they're a little bit different to 991. They open up for you as you approach the car. The thing I like most about the new 992, I have to be honest, is the way it's just wider. It's wider in the standard Carrera. It's the same width as the Carrera S, it's the same width as the Carrera 4S. And I think you're going to have to get to the RS or turbo model to get it even wider. And the sports exhaust system with that lower front number plate, those two big pipes in the back. This car does sound very good on the road. You've got the classic Porsche typeface logo on the back here. This is just in the standard. You can have it in black. This has been a point of conjecture here, you know, the 992, when we come up with these two red taillights. You can feel the heat coming off the engine there. Just warm my hands up. And you've got the auto deploying spoiler. This is wider than the 991, so it comes right to the edge of the rear of the car. So you're going to get a bit more downforce when you're at speed. And a totally redesigned rear light package, nice and slick, and of course you get the full light on through this lovely strip on the back of the car. This car's also fitted with the glass sunroof. I think it sets the car off because it's got you know, the top of the car, it's like kind of all glass, looks really, really slick. So inside the cabin of the 992, it's right up to date. It feels newer, it feels more technologically advanced. Enjoying this nice new steering wheel design with these buttons. So at your fingertips, as you would expect. You've got your volume button, you've got your menu button here, that Porsche logo right in the centre of the steering wheel. This is a heated steering wheel, so again, it's been quite handy. Over here on the door, you've got your memory seat option. There's a 14-way adjustable seat, so you can get it just as you want it. You get the perfect driving position. and 3 memory options. The car is fitted with Bose speakers, so you've got excellent sound quality through the cabin and listen to your music as you're going along. All the switchgear in this car is new, so all the buttons they've just been stepped up. Over here you've got your light operations, you've got auto, fog lamp, main beam, side lights. This car's fitted with a keyless go, so just get in and turn the engine on, you keep the key in your pocket. Again, all the stalks are new, so again they've got that gloss look again. This car's got cruise control. These buttons are really nice. I mean, it really stepped it up here. There's a lovely feel to them. You know, the metal, it feels quality, it feels premium. And you know, when I first saw this gear lever, I wasn't sure, but I haven't driven this car today and used it a bit. You know, it's quite dainty, quite nice, and you know, you can just click and slot into reverse or into drive mode. You've got your manual button. Up here you've got wet mode, which is brought out with a bit of fanfare. You know, if the roads are wet, it tells you go into wet mode. It makes you more secure in those conditions. And you've got your sport button, hazard warning lights, traction control, and sport suspension. I've been driving it with sport and sport suspension enabled. As I turn the ignition on a little bit, get the lights on, so it all comes into life. So on here you've got your volume button. This is your button for the front and rear demister. Temperature control and fan speed, or you can just have it in auto, and this takes you through the menu. I've got this connected to my Apple CarPlay at the moment, but on here you've got your navigation, your media, your phone. It's all touch tech. Nice wide screen there. And down here you've got your you know, this is for the sunroof, open and close. It's got heated seats. I was a bit unsure about the cup holder when I saw it, but this feels very premium, very solid. That actually can come out though, so you can get a cup in there. And then over here, where you would in the previous generation have a strip where it popped out, this is your cup holder there. Same kind of design, but done a different way. In here you've got your ports for the USB. You get a little bit of stuff in there. It's not very big, but you get a bit of stuff in there. These seats are very supportive, the 14-way, similar shape but a new design, updated from the previous generation car. It's not really a 4-seater, let's be honest, but it's a 2+2, so someone could squeeze in the back if necessary, so you have got a little bit more room in the back there, and maybe smaller passengers would suit it more than fully grown adults. But that's the Porsche 911. You know, this car will predominantly be driven by one, or be maybe having 2 people in it with a passenger. The 2-tone leather seats in this car, I think the graphite blue and the crayon just really set it off. Makes it feel very luxurious. This car doesn't have sports chrono, but again, you know, is it really a car you would think to take on the track and time lapse? I don't really think so. Although it probably would be at home on the track because it's got plenty of performance. So when I first drove the 992 for the very first time, I took it up the Shap Road. I started driving it and thinking to myself, yeah, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dials ahead, but I couldn't see the dial on the far right and the far left because the rim of the steering wheel was in the way. Now I don't know how that's managed to get past the Porsche engineers, but I've got to either go like that or I've got to go like that. So if I've got any criticism of this car at all, it's got to be I can't see the time, temperature, and I can't see oil temperature, and I can't see the tank capacity, what's left in the petrol tank. So just a little thing. But straight ahead, again, the purists, what Porsche people want, they want a gradual evolution of a car, and straight ahead, you've got an analog rev meter, which is what people want. I think if that had been pure electronic, I'm not quite sure people would have loved it. But so you've got a proper rev counter. All the other dials, obviously, are all just computerized LCD readouts. So you've got your speedo, and then you've got your menu on the right, and you get quite a big navigation map there actually, but that'll go through your trip computer, vehicle information, tyre pressure, G meter. I think the thing that really steps the car up again, as I said before, is the tech in the car. So this widescreen display is fantastic. So this is running Apple CarPlay, so on here you can have your Waze, it just connects into your phone as we know. But also on here you've got a home button, so on here you've got the navigation if you're using the standard car's navigation, which is very good. You've got the media through the car, if you're not using Apple CarPlay, then the phone, and you've got the car. So you can have wet, normal, sport, have the spoiler always up, exhaust system, start, stop. So yeah, climate, so you can set it up differently through here. So all the things you need. It's all touch tech again, which makes it feel very modern, very up to date. It feels very premium. Feel like you're getting what you're paying for here. And I think anyone who's looking to get into Porsche, £100,000 to spend, this is a car that's got to come into your thinking from a 911 perspective. So when you're getting in and getting out of your 911 Carrera, it will remind you of this fab 911 Carrera aluminium strip. This car's got the Bose speakers, so it's got a fab sound system. And I have to say, I do like this stuff here. This kind of like metal feel through the car. It's obviously you've got it in the centre console as well, and across the top of this face here. You know, it's premium. Feels good. Okay, so the 14-way adjustable seat. This seat will come up and it will go down. I like to have it quite low, like a low seated position. And then you've got your back fore and aft. It will come forward and back. It's also got a lumbar support in here, button which will move this out to give you more lumbar support in the base of your back, which is quite useful. And when it's heated, you know, it does feel good. These seats have a pull on the back, so you just pull that and then the seat will come forward. So you can access the cabin. So yeah, the rear seats, these are handy. You know, if you're going away and you want some luggage, you can bring these forward. And these are really cool. This takes you back to my 4S in 2016. And you can just sit some luggage on there, and that's quite a lot of space, really. So it's, you know, the 911, when it was conceived as the all-round sports car that did everything, and it really does, doesn't it? Because I mean, look at the space here now. So as always, the 911 has that boot in the front, and there's more than enough capacity in there to quite deep, get quite a bit of gear in there. You can always buy the special designed suitcases too. Special thanks to Porsche Centre Kendal again for allowing us to have access to their demonstrator 992 Carrera. This is running the Pirelli winter fitment and alloy wheel setup from Porsche. So this car, even at low temperature and a little bit of dampness on the road, will waft you along with a great deal of safety. I think the car sounds really good. It's got the optional sport exhaust system, those two fat pipes in the back. So when you want to have some fun, you just select the M button and then you're on your paddles. And I think it does sound good. You know, it's nice to have perhaps an alternative to a car that's full on and manic. So to have a car like this that cruises along, wafts you along in comfort, but it's got that performance factor too, I think it's a winning combination. I'm running this at the moment with the sport suspension on, the sports performance button on, 5th gear, drop it to 3rd. It's just totally Porsche, the feel and the drive. It's good to be back in a Porsche on the channel, definitely, 100%. And to do a full review on a car which is obviously the hallmark car for Porsche. This is the car which everyone knows and is synonymous with the Porsche brand, the 911. The car that just kindled in me a real desire as a youngster to eventually own one and have one and drive one. And what makes it special is that you can drive it on such super roads as this. We've got some nice sweeping bends to take on, and you've got the car to take advantage of it, let me tell you. What I love about the 3-cylinder twin-turbo engine is that it just delivers that torque without a lot of fuss and fanfare. Obviously, it lacks the emotion, the rawness, and the growl of a GT engine. But as I say, it's a car which fits in and slots in to the Porsche lineup when it comes to pecking order. You know, this car's under £100,000. If you ran this car for 3 or 4 years, it came time to trade it in and move into something else, you're not going to be decimated in its value. Porsches are always in demand, the residual values are exceptional, and so you can spec a very special 911 like this, all the kit in it, and you're coming back with change from 100 grand, and that's significant. Just a joy to drive, it really is. So there we have it, the Carrera 992, the base model, but it's certainly got more than enough for most people. Fabulous car. Thank you very much for watching today's video. Don't forget to subscribe, like and comment, and as always, I'll see you next time.